Hello everyone, welcome back. Another episode of OpenFront.io. This is Enzo, and today we're going to be testing out the new OpenFront.io update that's going to be coming out. I think it might be coming out later this week. So in this video, we're going to go through a bunch of the different things that you're going to need to know. I'm going to give you my opinion and just try to show you some of the other things that you haven't seen in my other videos. So to start things off, this is probably the most important thing you need to know. The attack meta has fundamentally changed. So in the other video that many of you might have seen, there used to be this kind of ugly bar at the top. They decided to get rid of that apparently. And the thing that you need to know is that your growth curve has changed, which basically just means how much you gain troops by. If you look at this green number in the bottom left corner, and there's some other things to consider with how basically that functions outside of just like being in the middle of the bell curve, so to speak. So to start, the first thing that I should tell you, what I've been told by some of the people who work with development, is that the ideal growth has now moved to 50%. So if you look at when your population gets to 50%, so you can see it's 12 out of 30. So when it gets to like 15K, that is when your ideal growth is. The other thing, from what I understand of how this works, is that attacks, when you send out an attack, it somehow counts against your growth, that you're only gaining troops based on your workers and the troops in your territory. So whenever you send out an attack, so like for example, I'm gonna let this get up to 22K, then I'm gonna do a small attack. So you can see my growth is starting to go down here. And then when I click on this bot, you can see it goes down. So in the past in OpenFront, a lot of the opening has been about kind of managing multiple attacks at the same time, trying to keep this number right here around the more ideal location. But now I think it's going to be a lot more slow in how you do things, that you're going to be a little bit more pragmatic. And I think some optimization is going to be removed more or less. Like that's how I interpret it. To be very frank, I don't really understand this change. Like I know a lot of people are very concerned about individuals snowballing and just getting ahead in the game. I'm a little less so on that front, but I feel like, I don't know, the game has a lot of the times been about incentivizing aggression. And some of these things with like our growth, like you have ideal growth going up at 50%, and if you attack, you now reduce your troop growth, which wasn't the same in the past. You might see turtling. And for context with this video, I just played an impossible mode game on the new giant world map, and I'm not going to even show you it because it was so painful and slow that like I honestly can say if OpenFront.io feels anything like that game in multiplayer, I don't know if I'd play at this point. And that's really serious. So in any case, let's just keep going. So I hope that explanation makes sense, that now what you're going to want to do is try to keep this number at about 50%. And I think when you're clearing bots, this is the other thing, I would be a lot more cautious with your attack levels. Bots have also, it seems like they have less troops now from what I've seen. The other thing I can tell you too is if you play this, you might feel like your opening or the opening part of the game, you might think it's a little slower. And it is, because I actually did a pre-post test. If you really want to know about it, I can tell you, but your opening and even just the game itself, I don't know if it's a bug, but I think this timer could be messed up because it's actually going slower for me than just like normal time, and I don't really understand why. Because I did the exact same, I did a test on the new OpenFront and the current version, so 22.7, and the timer goes slower on this one, but it's fine on the other, so I don't know. So besides this, I think the other thing that we'll try to show you, oh, there's a few other things. I need to show you the most important thing. You can send messages to people. You can say, have fun to other people, or you can tell Upper Australia to attack. Let's just, let's focus fire on, oh, I can tell them to attack myself. That's actually so great. That's one thing I think is really good. I think that's an awesome change because I think that giving some better ways for communication can be practical, and people who can do well at that, they're going to have a big advantage in these games. Even though probably a lot of people don't talk about it, just like sending hearts can be so powerful and important. So let's just keep on getting up cities. I'm also going to try to get up my warship right here. I don't know all of the logic of how the bots build things. I know it's they build cities first, or they build the port, then they build the cities, then I think they build the missile silo. So I'm just gonna keep on going. Keep on going here. The messages are fun. What are the other things that I need to tell you about with this game? Oh, this is kind of an interesting thing that you can do. So you can send out a boat, and then you can cancel the boat, and it will go right back. It's basically retreating. If you don't know about retreating, you lose 25% of your troops, blah, 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 blah. So all this said, I'm gonna keep going. The other thing I could probably explain if y'all didn't watch my other video or see Evan, the OpenFront dev's comment on that vid, is that this number right here, I understand this is like a defense indicator, more or less, that it's just telling you like how defensible your territory is. So like Upper Australia would be an easier target to go for than Norwegian claim. And what it's based off of, from my understanding, is it's based off of your troops over your overall land. And the idea, again, is to try to stop the crown stuff. This update, I think, is trying to like get it so that small players can somehow have a chance in Turtle, which I don't know. I don't think OpenFront really needs turtling. I think what it needs, my kind of assessment is I think it needs to deal with some of these one-hit attacks, these type of bum rush things. I think some of the bum rush stuff is kind of dumb. And I think there needs to be a little bit of a nerf of people who get ahead, which I think the instability can potentially do. I like that, but the attack stuff, I really don't get. So just keeping on going this game. We'll actually probably just see what it looks like to do a massive attack on another player. This is actually gonna be a test. Oh, you know what? What the hell is Norwegian claim doing? Did you see that? They just like sent out all of their troops. Looks like they're clearing bots with like everything, basically. The other thing I can tell you is if you betray someone, your trade stops for 5 minutes. Let's try this big attack. Let's see if this still works. Okay, so that's moving pretty quickly. So maybe this isn't as bad as I thought. The impossible mode I played, it was just so insane. I literally had to merv another bot 4 times to have a chance because they kept on recovering, and because when you send out attacks, you don't increase your troop gain, it's just like a stalled thing. So their one player goes down, so that's a good sign that that's not that bad. I really want to find a warship so that we can fight. I don't think we're gonna get one. Maybe I can just overlay some of that because I think that's fun. So let's do another giant attack here. The interesting thing, even though like I think some of the stuff can impact snowballing, some people who played the game more recently apparently said that snowballing's still really overpowered in this, which I don't know. All this said, if you have gotten to play this update, I'd definitely be curious about your impressions on stuff. I'm just gonna reiterate, I don't totally understand these changes to like the attack stuff. I felt like, you know what? Optimization in games like this, I feel like it's good. I think it's kind of like a fun thing. I just kind of want to see the crown be a little more vulnerable personally, and maybe make it so that there's a little less one-hitting people. And I think there is. I think there is thus far, but it's all really to be determined how this looks in multiplayer. So let's just watch this Sam shoot this down because that is a great thing. The other thing I can tell you, if your computer sucks and you're worried about these things, you can use this function to turn that off. And I think that's pretty much game. So it'll be interesting when multiplayer comes out, and we'll have some options to test this out. You can see my defense going way, way down there. And to end the game, let's just launch a hydrogen with all our special effects into Chilean claim. Yeah, so it looks like there is still kind of some snowbally stuff. The other thing I can tell you too is if you're launching bombs now, it's betrayal on launch because there was a bug in the game that Allied SAMs would not shoot down like bombs that you launch at someone. So like, for example, if I allied this player, and in the past, if I launched a bomb right at their SAM, it would do nothing. Which is so stupid that you have to like manually betray people so that you don't like lose everything just from something like that. So all this said, thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I guess we'll see how this update is when it comes out. So take care. Bye-bye.